and welcome to UIW's Extended Academic Program webinar. My name is Adriana Gutierrez, Admissions Counselor for the program, and today we have a guest.
Kingsley Onyema. I'm a U.S. Army, active duty. I'm a captain. Currently studying Master of Science in Organizational Development and Leadership.
Great, well, great to have you, Kingsley.
Thank you.
And great to have y'all. We're going to go ahead and start off with the UIW history. UIW was founded in 1801 in San Antonio, Texas by three Sisters of Charity. We are a large Texas Catholic university, and currently we're the fourth largest Texas private university. Our population is highly diverse, and we have recently become a Division I Southland Conference institution. Now, in the extended academic program, we have two schools. One of them is the School of Applied Sciences, and under there you will see the website link. We also have the School of Professional Studies, along with its proper link. When it comes to our programs, we have two formats available to students. They can either do 100% online or actually attend classroom courses. For our online program, when we say 100% online, we really do mean 100%. There are no times where you actually have to go to a center. There are no proctored exams. Everything is done online. We also have the classroom setting. You can choose day classes, evening classes, or weekend classes. A majority of them are in the evening, mainly because we cater to working adults who do the usual 8 to 5. Now, Kingsley, you mentioned that you did both online and in class. Can you talk a little bit about your online experience?
Yes, Adriana. My online experience was quite intriguing. It was it's fun. The most benefit of it, I would say, is the convenience, and it's like your own pace. Yes, there are timelines you have to meet, but you have your own time, the entire time, to take care of your personal aspects of job-related activities, and at the same time meet up with those timelines, and you're doing it at your own pace. That's the greatest part of it. So, and then it created that moment that everyone is lives in the digital world, and looking at it, you're no longer, instead of that time of texting and messing with video games and whatnot, so you're applying that time in something that is going to be very productive, which is basically your studies. So it was very, very rewarding. I took about 4 classes online.
Oh,
so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, another thing that we wanted to point out today was that a lot of our students ask if they can take both online and in-class courses at the same time. And the answer is yes, you can. If for whatever reason you want to take an online class and an in-course class on the same term, you are able to do that as long as it's being offered for that term. We do have students that for their own personal reasons, they decide that for one term they only want to do online, and then the following one they want to do in-class. Again, this is an option available for our students. Now, Kingsley mentioned that he did do online and in-course classes. Kingsley, can you talk a little bit about your in-class courses?
Yes, in-class courses, again, it's very, very, it was fun. That's the best way to put it, to be honest with you, because then you look at it, you're no longer interacting digitally. You're no longer only online. You're not where you can't see the students, your fellow students, but here you are with the students in the classroom environment, and the social interaction that goes along with it and the networking that comes around with it too is very, very beneficial. Now you have the professor there to answer any question that students have, and you share ideas and interact with one another. I think that's one of the things that you miss it when it comes to online, but again, it is very, very great environment for you to hear the world view and our perspective of other students physically. You know, so I enjoyed both online and physical classroom.
All right, thank you, Kingsley.
No problem.
Now we're going to move on to the learning centers. As you can see, we have a map that lists all of the centers in the San Antonio area. They are spread apart, and each center offers their own degree programs. Whenever you're getting ready to register or even just apply, we suggest looking at our website and seeing what is available to you in your area with your degree program in mind. Also, we do have a center in Corpus Christi and our Killeen Fort Hood Center. Student benefits. Now, when it comes to our application, it is free. There is no application fee. If you go online trying to register or apply for our program and there's a page asking you for a fee, we suggest backtracking a little bit and searching for our application because, like I said, it is free. Now, once you submit it, an admissions counselor contacts you and they help you with the rest of the process. Now, there are also no academic fees for you to worry about. And we do have payment plans available for those planning to pay out of pocket. You would simply talk to our business office and select the best one that works for you. Also, our programs are in 8-week terms, and we have 6 terms in the year. Now, when you compare that to the traditional program, which is 16 weeks, it really is more fast-paced, as I'm sure Kingsley knows from experience. Also, we have a 14-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. Now, this means that our students are able to create better relationships with their professors because they're not just a face in the crowd. Your professor does get to know your name and gets to know more about you along with the rest of your classmates. Also, our faculty, they do have real-world experience. If you're taking, let's say, an accounting class, your professor more than likely is either a current accountant or they have a lot of past experience in it. Next, we'll talk about our military benefits. For active duty military members, they do get free e-textbooks for both their undergrad and their graduate programs. There are no fees for active duty military, and our tuition is at a cap. As I mentioned previously, we do have special rates for veterans, DoD civilians, and active duty dependents. We also have an office specifically for Veterans Affairs to answer all of your military benefit questions. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about our different graduate majors. The first one is the Masters of Arts in Administration, or the MAA. This one, it teaches students about administration in a business setting and gives them a broad knowledge about what goes on in a business. They also have several concentrations available for this degree. They are Applied Administration, Communication Arts, Healthcare Administration, and a few more. Now, not only will you know more about how a business runs, but you'll be able to add a little specialty to your degree as well. Next, we have the Masters of Science in Organizational Development and Leadership, also known as the MSODL. Now, this degree, it teaches a student how to bring change to an organization, how to properly execute it and move an organization forward. Now, Kingsley, you're currently in this program, correct?
Yes, I am. And it's a very, very. I will tell you that most of the time we talk about the topics, and it all at the end of the day relates to. It's like you're talking about what we do every day to bring change to our organization. Everyone has something to contribute because most of us are working class students, you know, and there's that aspect of it that we bring in the value of what we do in real life into the classroom and convert it to a great talking point. Makes it very, very rewarding. And you know, in the military, for example, we talk about, it's all about leadership. You know, we take it that is the main core of our organization, because if you can lead, then you cannot perform your duties. And you know, we have lives are trusted into your hands as an officer or as a non-commissioned officer, or even a private or a specialist, any rank. So the organizational development and leadership kind of brings into a wide spread of aspects of leadership in every organization geared towards change. And I consider it very, very any organization that is looking forward to adapt in the evolving global environment.
Great to hear. Now we're going to go ahead and move over to the next majors. We have the Masters of Arts in Teacher Leadership. Now, this degree, it's for teachers who plan on staying in the classroom but want to obtain more leadership position and roles outside of the classroom. Next, we have the Professional Masters of Business Administration, or the MBA. Now, this degree, it also teaches you the ins and outs of a business, how a business operates both internally and externally. Now, with this degree, we do have several concentrations, and they are asset management, data analytics, and human resources. Next, we'll talk about graduate admissions. Now, for our admissions, you're back on?
Yeah, we're on. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so like I was saying, we do have the MBA program.
Good.
Now, as I was saying, graduate admissions, in order to apply to our program, you need to have a bachelor's degree from an accredited university. And the overall GPA should be a 2.5 or better. Now, also, we do require official transcripts. Now, in the early stages of the admissions process, we can go ahead and use unofficial transcripts as long as it states that you did receive your bachelor's degree and your GPA. And a lot of students ask, do I need to send you every single transcript? And the answer is yes. Now, I'm laughing because as a lot of military members, they usually attend a lot of courses, a lot of programs at different universities. Now, the reason we do this is not to put a strain on our applicants, but because we need to see the admissions and history that a student has in every university in order to get a good view of what type of student they are. Next, we have the admissions for the MAA known as MSOGL. Now, the following requirements are special requirements that happen every now and then with our students. And sometimes in order to come into a program, they need to take a nationally recognized entrance test, usually a GRE or a GMAT exam. Also, there are times when we may ask for letters of recommendation or writing samples in order to move forward. For the MA and teacher leadership admissions, a student may come in as either unconditional or conditional. Now, in order to come in as an unconditional student, their GPA needs to be a 2.5 or better on a 4.0 GPA scale, and official transcripts should be submitted for all undergrad and graduate work. Also, of course, need to complete an application with us. Now, there are times where students are admitted conditionally, and this is when the GPA is between a 2.0 and a 2.49. In order to come in like this with that type of GPA, we would need to take the GRE exam. Now, for the MBA program, like every other program, we do require official transcripts from our applicants, which would be reviewed by a graduate program advisor. Now, the MBA, it does have prerequisite requirements. Let's say your undergraduate degree isn't necessarily a business degree. You know, you might not have taken economics, statistics, or accounting 1 and 2. Now, for students who are in this type of scenario, we do offer CPCs, which are our common professional components. These are self-paced programs that are at such a lower cost when compared to an actual class. As soon as students are able to complete this, then they are able to move forward with their degree. Like other programs, you can come in as either unconditional or conditional, depending on your GPA. Now we have the term dates. The next one coming up is summer 2, and it starts June 24th, ends August 17th. Now, the app deadlines listed are what's recommended. However, as admissions counselors, we do suggest that you submit your application before that deadline. That way, if we come upon any bumps in the road, we do have time to solve them with you and get you to where you want to be. All right, now let's talk numbers. So graduate tuition. Now, this is for the 2017-2018 academic year. Currently, our credit hour rate is $9.15. So as you can see on the presentation, one course per term would come out to around $2,745. That's total tuition. Now, keep in mind that usually our courses are 3 credit hours worth, so you just got to do a little bit of math there. Also, you'll see listed the cost of 2 courses per term. Now, as we mentioned before, military tuition is a little different. For active duty, they have a lower rate, as well as active duty spouses and dependents. veterans, DoD civilians. Financial aid. Now we get a lot of questions when it comes to financial aid. Thankfully we have an office just for that. There you'll see listed the phone number, their email, their PIN, and also where to fill out your FAFSA. Now a lot of times students ask, well, what type of financial aid or grants are available? For that we recommend that every student fill out a FAFSA application. That is where you'll find out what grants are available and what type of loans you can apply for. Now, in order to be considered full-time for financial aid enrollment, that would be 6 credit hours, and that comes up to 2 classes. If you want to be considered half-time, that's 3 credit hours worth, and again, that's 1 course. Okay. Now we're going to talk about personal development for our students who don't necessarily want to complete a degree. We do have some certifications available to them. They range from personal trainer to clinical medical assistant, online legal studies courses, and registered dental assistant. Now for these, you don't necessarily have to have completed any prerequisites. You really just register for the course, pay your tuition, and move forward with your certification. All right, now how to get started. First, you apply for the program of your choice, request your official transcripts to be reviewed, and make sure to submit it at the deadline, which is the Sunday 1 week before the start of class. Again, we do want to remind students that they are able to fill out the FAFSA form. Now, before I move on to the admissions process, Kingsley, are there any tips or any recommendations during the application process that you remember that you want to talk to our viewers?
You touched on the key points, and the main thing is don't get frustrated when they when the admissions office start asking about the transcripts. It is a requirement to validate that you are actually eligible to participate in the program. Initially, I found it a little bit, difficult. How can I contact all my colleges? College.
Great. Oh, that always makes us really happy to hear coming from one of our students. Now, before I move forward, I want to mention to the people viewing this right now that this will be emailed to you. So if there was any part that you might have missed or, bad connection, things happen, you would be able to review this presentation. Next, we're going to talk about the admissions process. Now, the first step is, of course, submit an application. As soon as you do submit an application, an admissions counselor will get that notification and will move forward in contacting you via email. So if you submitted an application and you haven't received anything, we usually recommend you check your junk mail or any other email you might have used, because that's usually the first point of contact. Next, we ask you to request and submit official transcripts. You can also submit unofficial transcripts, but down the line we will request those official transcripts. Next, we review your application and your transcripts and then make a decision based off of your academic history. Again, the admissions decision will be emailed to you. And in that email, we will give you the decision, the program and start term you selected, as well as recommended courses that we suggest you sign up for first. Next, you'd register for classes, and then your advisor will contact you. Now we're going to go ahead and mention some frequently asked questions. One of them is what we've already mentioned, which is we do need all of your transcripts. Now, you don't necessarily have to send us all of your unofficial or official transcripts before enrolling, but like I said, down the line, we will request those official transcripts. And again, there are times where a student might have registered for a class at another school, dropped it, and then never went back. Even in those types of scenarios, we do request transcripts for the sake of our own records, of course. Now, we do have times where people ask, can I transfer in coursework from another institution? And the answer is yes, as long as that school is regionally accredited. And also, can you receive a second master's degree? And the answer is yes, you can. Of course, we would have to look at that other master's you got and compare it to the one that you plan on obtaining with us. And then the next one is it possible to take classes online and in the classroom? And as we mentioned previously, yes. And this is something that we recommend students take advantage of. Being able to go online and in the classroom, totally up to them and their own lifestyle. Now we're going to go ahead and answer some questions. Now the first one is from William Walker. He asked, if I completed my BAS at UIW, do I have to resend all of my transcripts? And the answer is no. If UIW was the last school you attended, you do not need to send us transcripts. When you submit your application and start speaking to your admissions counselor, make sure you let them know that UIW was the last school you attended and that you graduated from there. From there, we'll go ahead and look at your records and go from there. Now, if after graduating from UIW with your bachelor's, you actually attended another university, we will need transcripts from that new school. Now, the next question is from Kelly, and her question was, what recommendations would you offer to someone that is pulled between two concentrations for their MBA? Now, we get these types of questions from our students asking us, well, I'm not sure which concentration or which degree to choose from. And usually we like to ask them, well, what is your end goal? What do you wish to accomplish with your degree? Is there a specific job or a specific industry that you want to get into? And from there, we try to see if we can narrow it down to a specific concentration. Now, with a program such as the MBA, which has several concentrations, you can always start your core for the MBA, which is the same for all of the concentrations. And then based off of your experience from there, usually our students are able to decide which concentration they're interested in. Now, I'm going to go ahead and ask Kingsley. Kingsley, what tips or recommendations do you offer to students who are just starting the program?
Initially, the tips I would give is stay the course. Don't get, when you start, the most important aspect of it is if you are online, just realize there's the time management factor. If you manage your time very well, plan out your day, have a plan for your day and have a schedule and stick to it. Sometimes, for example, some of us that are in the military, if you have to go anywhere ahead of time, notify your instructor, notify your professor, and they are ready, to work with you. And even sometimes I've been to a remote locations where I did not have online access, and they were able to work with me. They will, that confidentiality there. You work with them. They can give you ahead of the information you need ahead of time, so you can do it and submit it to them directly to their email. And again, it's all about starting. I realized initially the anxiety was there, but then when I started, there's that excitement to move on, push through, So I started this in January. I transferred 3 courses, and I will be graduating this December. That's a total of nine courses that I should have taken by then. So you can see how, yes, that's on top of active duty obligations, traveling all over the world, sometime unannounced. So it is my tip is stay the course, have that dig deep and get motivated. Find something, the niche that is going to motivate you to walk that fine line, and realize that see the finished line. The end goal of it all is to walk across that stage. and graduate with your diploma in your hands. So that is what I would tell everyone. Look at it. Think outside the box. Don't just think about that challenges you're experiencing right now. Look at the objective ahead, which is obtaining your master's degree, obtaining your bachelor's degree. For military students, it is very, very rewarding at the end of the day because it's a career changer, of course. And again, it's beneficial when you get out of the military, not just in the military, but actually in the civilian sector too as well. So that is my tip.
Great. Well, I hope y'all wrote all that stuff down. Very wise words from our guest here. And he touched on two things that I want to elaborate on. He mentioned anxiety. A lot of our students, they call us or they visit us and they mention that they are worried or, they're not sure they'll be able to keep up. And we always reassure them that it's okay. A lot of our students coming in, they're in the same boat. They have the 8-to-5 job or, they have kids, they have responsibilities, other things going on in their life, or they're active duty military members who have assignments here and there. We usually recommend that our students start off with one class just to, test the water, see how they do, and understand the type of course load that they can expect for each class. We like to tell them that it's like taking on a part-time job. That's around the same amount of time that you'll take in class and the amount of time that you'll have to use to study for your courses. Another one was
when you are in the you don't know how you be like, well, how long is it going to take me to finish?
Exactly.
Why I have all these courses to go through. But I was in the same boat like in January. I looked at it, 9 classes. Oh my goodness! But here I am right now. I'm in my 6th, so that only leaves me with only 3. So now you don't have to, like Adriana said, you don't have to take all the 2 classes per semester like I did. Some people call me overachiever. I'm not. I wanted to get it done. I can see the finish line. So don't be discouraged. Stay motivated and ask questions. The professors are there. They give you their phone numbers and their emails. So, and all the faculty, everyone is ready to help. So use those opportunities, and you're gonna find it a little bit much more exciting and interesting environment to study.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
Well, Kingsley, thank you so much for joining us today at the Extended Academic Program webinar. This will conclude our presentation, and thank you again for joining us.